Hey, Kylin, I have a two-parter over here. If you could just walk me through the emotions of finally being back out there, and then what the last month or so has been like for you.
Of course, hearing your name, all the fans erupt and all that means everything to me, especially, being from here. It's my senior year. I had to sit out a couple of games, and, it was an unfortunate situation, but I finally got to be able to have a chance to come back and play. So for me, it was very, just appreciative of getting that opportunity again. And then this last month, just been pretty much doing everything I can just to get my hand healthy, be in the right mental state when I wanted to get back on the court, having the right confidence in myself. Been on the treadmill with Coach Fletch in the weight room. Like a week and a half ago, got cleared to practice. Slowly been incorporating contact within that. Went and met with the doc Thursday, told me he felt comfortable me playing. We just put him back in the game.
Kylin, just how does it feel, and how did it go on the court, do you think? Like, how would you kind of evaluate how it all went for you?
It's been good so far. I'm just still trying to get adjusted, stuff on my hand, especially my dominant hand. Today I missed a couple of easy layups. I was just trying to get more adjusted on it, but overall, it's fine. Whatever the case may be, if it's not going offensively, then I'll just do my best to do other things to help our team win.
David, what difference did you notice with Kylin on the court today?
As I said before, Kylin is our most important player, especially in defensive end. And I think the biggest win from today is having him back. And I feel safer when he's on the court guarding other best players, and that's it. Oh, my bad.
Kylin, just how do you kind of approach reintegrating yourself into a team that has obviously played 7 games without you? What's that process like for you as you kind of make your return?
I think the biggest thing is them, just being open arms and ready for me to come back on the court. I think just watching the last couple games that, there's opportunities for me to make impactful plays without having the ball in my hands, and I think I've done a great job with that for my last 2 years being here. So I think it's just being me. I think that was the biggest thing for me.
Kylin, how have you seen David grow as this season's gone along, especially when you were out to have another playmaker you running the offense through? How have you seen him grow?
For sure. Just his confidence and continuously being aggressive throughout the games. He knows no one can guard him, and I make sure he understands that. So I think for him, continuously just being confident and aggressive, because he's one of the best bigs in the country, and understanding that no one will stop you from getting the spots that you want. And I'm proud of him for continuously just being like that.
David, after the last 2 games, there's a lot of talk from you guys, from Coach Underwood, just that the little things was where you guys missed. What did you do differently today, maybe to hit on those little things?
The most important thing, because we lost, was rebounding battle, as in both games that we lost the rebounding battle. And we weren't that hungry as we were on the defensive end today, and that was emphasis last 2 days on practices, and I think we did it well today, and that's why we won.
Kylin, 14 field goal attempts for Lamar Wilkerson doesn't seem like a lot to me. Was that a point of emphasis to keep him from getting good touches and good looks at the rim?
Yeah, 100%. When I'm out there, I take pride in who I'm guarding as the best player. I just try my best to make things a little difficult for him. He got a couple easy ones and free ones in transition, which I was frustrating myself in. But, at the end of the day, he's a really good player. He still got 21. But just as long as we just make things difficult for their best player, build things out of rhythm, and then, like David said, win the rebound battle, I think we take care of business.
David in the back, this is not your career high, but close to it. Is it the most locked in from a scoring perspective that you felt like you were?
Every game I'm locked in and went to play with same mentality. But this one was different. Whole team had to really bounce back after 2 really tough and I would say emotional losses for all of us. And I did that, and that's it.
Kylin, just seeing you back out there with the balance and chemistry and everything, it's just given that you only have a few more home games left of your Illinois career, what are these moments like for you, and just how are you taking them all in as one game at a time progresses?
For me, I think I've got the mentality aspect of basketball I've gotten better at. Not being frustrated, not being at an even keel, and just being grateful for all these opportunities. Been in college for 4 years and back home where I was born and raised. And, hearing my name, like I said earlier, getting called out and starting to line up here is emotional for me. But I think the biggest thing is just being in the present and enjoying this time now.
Thank you.
Kylin, another two-parter, if I could, was Coach Underwood said mid-February when you first got hurt. Was this about the game that you personally targeted as a return? And then second, how do you adjust to the wrapping or brace or splint or whatever it is on your hand?
No, I actually I thought my first game back would be SC. But for some reason, I think we've done everything we can with hyperbaric, sauna, bone stimulation. I've done sleeping early. I've tried my best to just get the process as fast as possible. And the healing's gone better. And the biggest thing was the swelling. I didn't want to be out there with my hand swollen up, but that went down, and the doctor took a look at the x-rays, and none of the screws were moving around after practicing the first couple of weeks. So it was definitely a fast process, but I was grateful for that opportunity. And then, it's your dominant hand, shooting hand, stuff all over. It's kind of frustrating, but it's okay. It's my situation right now. I have to accept it and just continue to just get better with it.
Kylin, we always hear from players that the bench can be a good perspective or a different perspective. What were you seeing defensively in the games where you were out, where Coach Underwood has talked all week about the bite needed to be back?
Yeah,
what did you see that wasn't there?
The intensity was frustrating from my aspect because I feel like I can be that kind of outlet for the guys. I feel like a lot of them look up to me in that aspect, being the aggressive kind of defender. And being a leader on the court, in the moments you can correct things, and I know the guys will listen. When you come to the bench, though, it's sometimes hard. You hear so many different voices, and I try my best to get a message across. But being out there on the floor and being able to speak in the moment and talk to them, and then them getting to see my intensity again, I think is a huge thing.
Kylin, apparently you guys had Terrence, acting as Lamar for the prep. Just how much does that help? Where you got a pretty good guy to go against.
Coach was saying in the locker room, this is home for everybody who comes through here. Doesn't matter if you were one of the best to walk through here or if you didn't play much. But having him, he was helpful for the last 2 days for me for sure. Because, that's a huge thing for me with my confidence. I was, a little worried sometimes about my hand and things like that the last 2 days. But being able to guard him and him guarding me throughout practice definitely helped my confidence for sure.
Kylin, I don't know if you hear it, but the Crush took some criticism here recently, but they seem to respond tonight. What did you think of the crowd on a CBS Sunday game here?
I was proud of them. The last 2 days I've seen on Twitter and all that, everybody had their opinions about our Crush. But I think, throughout these 2 years I've been here, they've done a great job. But today they definitely, did their best to step up, and I think they did that.
David, is there anything you feel like you've been able to grow in or showcase on the floor a little bit more in the last 7 games without Kylin that you can carry forward through the rest of this season?
Obviously I had to step up as a point guard in a few moments to bring the ball up, but I think the thing that we were missing the most, and someone had to step up on the defensive end and to try to fill that hole we had without Kylin. And we did it for the most part. We did it good. We win. Just last 2 games were a little worse, but just that.
KJ and Will were here to watch today. How nice is it to have guys that you played with come back to watch, and what does it say about where this program is heading? That you have guys who are starting to play really well in the NBA, and they're still coming back to support.
For me, those are my youngins, like last year, and now they're in the league doing great things. Really proud of them. I know how much work they both put in, day out. I've witnessed it with myself and my eyes only. And, honestly, it's just, surreal moment, continuously seeing them just grow as men and just continue to be better as basketball players. Next year I'll be there to lock their ass up too, though, but... and then, like I said, this is home for everybody. This is anytime you leave this program, you're accepted to come back anytime point frame. But yeah, I think that's just the staple of, us in Illinois basketball.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Well, other than the win, the best part of today was my locker room after the game. And when you get to former players, and Terrence has been here all week, but you get former players, and even though Dane left us, but he wants, this is home. When you get those dudes back, and then you have some newbies in the room that haven't worn the jersey yet, and then your current players, that's what this is all about. We can talk wins and losses, but the relationships and all that are pretty cool. Defensively, maybe as good as we played in a while against a team that's very hot, and a team that's very, very good. Wilkerson is a pro. Even though he got 21, I thought we were very good, and obviously the insertion of Kylan Boswell had some impact on that. I thought he and Ben were tremendous in that area, guarding him. But I thought one of the big keys to the game was just getting back to us on the glass. Kylin, 4 offensive rebounds. Tommy, 4 offensive rebounds. I thought that we were so poor in the Wisconsin game, and we'd been getting worse. So just a emphasis on that for 2 days was great. And then what a night by our freshmen. And Mirk was spectacular. I'll let you in on a tidbit because I said it out there. It wasn't 2 minutes after I left the building, and I get an incredible text from Mirk after the after the Wisconsin game, and taking the blame for it because he wasn't mentally what he thought it was at his best. And it's been a long time. It was a very lengthy one. And he practiced at a different level, and that showed off today. He was dominant on both ends, and it's as focused defensively as I've seen him. He had Tucker, a veteran, a guy who's been around and been a part of a lot of basketball games. So I'm very, very proud of him. And in a night we didn't shoot the ball very well, to have a 20-point win against a team that's won 5 of 6, against a team that's an NCAA tournament team, that's speaks volumes to our defense and our intensity. So all in all, nice win, and it's nice to get Kylin back, and now we get ready for the next one.
Coach, scoring versatility showed up in this one, like 22 of 36, I think, from 2 and 40 points in the paint. Did you feel like you could get to the rim and get it inside against this team?
Yes, very big part of what we were trying to do. We felt like that they would have a decision to make, which was to switch us and or playing coverage. They switched, which put Mirk or Tommy with a guard, and then the next decision was to double us or to play one-on-one coverage. And for the most part, they doubled us early. Jake, I think, hit one, and then there was a lot of single coverage. And so, we felt like we could have some success downhill, driving it at the rim. And, so it just, again, taking what the defense gave us in this game.
Kylin mentioned the last 2 days having to guard Terrence on the scout team, and then having Terrence guard him was maybe, the best thing for him. I mean, just in terms of confidence, just what did, I guess, one, what does it mean to have Terrence on your scout team, and 2, how do you think it did help Kylin?
Yeah, I mean, Kylan's still rusty. He played great, and he smoked 3 layups. You would have made him. But he was rusty. So I just think getting a focus, a mental focus, was probably the important piece of that. He's a tough sucker now. I mean, he's got his appointment moved up. He pushed for that. Everything's right in his hand, and that dude was ready to be back in a jersey and perform. And I was very happy the crowd acknowledged him. And, we're a better team for having him on the court.
Brad, Kylin said it, that when he was on the bench with the injury, he just saw intensity and a lack of focus when he was on the bench. It wasn't an X's and O's thing. What immediately switches when he gets put back in the lineup in that regard?
Yeah, and 2 days off and 2 days of practice. We didn't cover Indiana 1 second. We usually do some 2-day prep stuff, and we didn't cover them 1 second. In our I don't know what it was, Friday. We didn't cover them 1 second. It was about us, and we had slipped a lot. Block out rates and offensive rebounding rates and mistakes in coverage. It was more all about us getting our edge back. It's very hard to do that. That's on me. I got to find more time to do that. But and then the insertion of Kylin picks up a different. You pick up a different energy. He's a veteran. He knows what this is supposed to look like.
I guess, Brad, along those lines, what did you see or feel from your team? I mean, you've inserted guys who have missed some time before. From an energy standpoint, how did you personally observe that?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't want Kylin. Kylin didn't have to do too much from an offensive standpoint. It wasn't that piece of it. My biggest challenge was for him to rebound, and then guard, and just his physicality and his presence makes us a better team defensively. There's no doubt about that. And I thought he was very focused in that area, and I thought he was committed to those singular things. And then offense just kind of happened for him.
Coach, it was a relatively quiet night for Jake Davis, but on the season as a whole, just what has he meant as a key for you guys within this roster?
He's our leader. He's our voice. He's one of the great role players in college basketball, not just the Big Ten. He is an elite role player. Does everything that he's supposed to do. Missed a couple that he normally makes, but the strides that young man's made on the defensive side from a year ago. The effort, everybody respects how much weight he's lost, how he controls his body, how dedicated he is. And then the thing I love about him is he's not afraid of confrontation. And young people today, most of them are. And he doesn't care who it is. It could be Tommy, who's his best friend. It could be Kylin. It could be a freshman. And when they're not doing the right things to help us win, he confronts those. And that's invaluable for us. He is at the top of our list in terms of the pecking order of importance.
I'm intrigued by that story you told us about David. Is that something that probably fair to say wouldn't have happened a few months ago? And how much?
Oh no, it would have happened with him. It would. I mean, he just felt it was time. He felt like he is the ultimate competitive winner, and it was just his way of, I think, helping himself become more motivated and right. Maybe my words weren't getting through to him, but some self-reflection. Any 18 or 19-year-old who can self-reflect, that's pretty special. And then, most of them blame and have excuses, and Mirk doesn't. And I'm so impressed. I told our team, I didn't tell them who wrote it. I told them about the letter that I got from a teammate, and I mean, it's a team-building moment when you have somebody that does that, and that's just a young man who cares about winning.
Coach, you talked about how much you emphasized this week getting that edge back. At this point in the season, what is key to continue that and make sure that stays consistent?
Yeah, the good thing is we had 11 games in 33 days. Now we get a little bit of, we've got a week in California. I got to keep making sure that happens. We've got, I don't know, what we got, 5 left? 4 left, 5, 6 left. I don't even know. 5 games left. Making sure that happens. And the other piece to that is making sure, if and when we get Andre back, what that looks like, and we get him in there the right way to help us, to be as healthy as we can heading down the stretch.
Brad, building off of the letter that you got from David, just looking at the freshmen as a whole, can you just speak to the maturity level that they've demonstrated since joining this program and where they started out at the beginning of the season to where they're at now, just how the level of accountability that they carry week in, week out? Yeah,
Mirk was, I think, freshman of the week twice early, and then he's really gotten overshadowed by the other guy. And that's probably not fair to talking about how good Mirk's been all year. And You know, we've gone from, I mean, he's a playmaker for us. He is a guy that has played in just about every position that we can extend and put him in. He's guarded, you know, he's guarding everybody on the court. He's playing offensively and that's so hard to do for a veteran, let alone a freshman. But I think it speaks to who he is and Keaton both. But the game is not sped up. I'm blessed. I get to coach two of the most mature players and well beyond their years. Well beyond their years.
Coach, you mentioned on the radio Wagler doesn't flop and maybe doesn't get calls because of that. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, when he gets knocked down, it's usually legitimate knockdown. And, you know, both the officials told me they missed the one right before the half. I was furious because I saw it. And, I mean, he gets clubbed in the head. And they came out, all of them came out and said they missed it. And I don't want it to be because other people in the league, you know, throw their bodies into people and flop around and throw the ball up, that because he's playing the game the right way, that he doesn't get those calls. And he's not trying to dupe anybody. He's not trying to act for anybody. He's trying to win a basketball game and help our team. And that's been my point with him. And you know, it's like I said, you know, it's the first thing we do after the game, or first thing I want to know is, okay, how many of them were? And you know, some of them are going to be questionable, and I get it, but there's a lot.
Coach, is Andre's ankle something that you're still keeping day to day, or is it something you think that could keep him out for an extended period of time?
Don't know. I mean, he's working at the process of coming back from that. You know, you get to a certain point where you've got to be able to do it in practice, and have that healthy. And like I said, my biggest concern is the health of us long term. And you know, if that means he needs to stay at home from LA and that trip and live in the hyperbarics and get treatment, then we'll do that. If that's what he's, because we're not just going to throw him out there with missing 10 days, 12 days, 13 days without practice.
Hey, Coach, a lot of recruits and potential future players here in Champaign. What do you think the environment was like for those players to be able to watch Illinois win today? And what's it like following those kids throughout their final year of high school or final 2 years?
Yeah, it's what it's all about. That environment, that culture. You know, it's a noon game on CBS, and Orange Crush was great, and they were here 2 hours early, and you know, you got to figure out how to continue to get really good players in this program, and to get where we want to go. Pretty good atmosphere.
Brad, we've talked a lot about your offensive efficiency numbers being so good all year long, but today, too, talking about two freshmen who have the ball in their hands a lot. Today, 2 turnovers. That's it. I mean, how happy are you just to see how well you guys do things on the offensive end, possession after possession?
Yeah, and that's why I was distraught after Wisconsin. Distraught. We had 13. We did some of the dumbest things that we were out of our process, not normal. I mean, throwing high lows. We just lobs to Merck on an out of bounds. I mean, just out of characteristic, and that was a great sign for me to say our process has slipped a little bit. Yeah, how about that decision making from a lot of freshmen and 2 turnovers in a high level game? That's why we're pretty successful.
Brad, I know how you feel about the Orange Crush. They were challenged a little bit from the outside here recently. What do you feel
Why?
about? I don't.
Really?
Yeah. Just what do you feel they've give you today?
So you guys think when I'm full of crap when I tell you that I don't read anything you guys write. I didn't know that they were. Really? Were they? Okay. They're great. We got the best fans in the country. All I want is our building to have at some point all that concrete up there start chipping away because it's so loud, and then we can stress Josh out instead of me.
7 steals out of 9 total forced
Yeah,
turnovers.
Doug's really happy with that number. Doug's going to do backflips now, and he hasn't asked the question, in like a week about 5 days about our turnover rate. How about that? Is that not unbelievable, Scott? Seven steals.
Sure. I was going to ask, even like that number, like how much can that maybe boost what's already been a pretty impressive offense?
I don't know. We're winning games, and I'll let Doug worry about our turnover rate and all that. I mean, we're 365th out of 365, so maybe today we moved to 364.
Do you feel like you needed to turn teams over? No. Anything different in the second half defensively, or was it just a matter of better execution? Or?
I thought we were really good the first half. I thought the whole key to the game, though, was not giving them easy baskets in transition. And spurtability is one thing that team has. And I think in their last game against Oregon, Wilkerson went 12 or 13 minutes without a field goal. Didn't make one. And then all of a sudden he's on a 10-0 run in about a minute and a half. And he ended up with 41 and didn't score for 12, 13 minutes. And that's what you got to avoid against that team. And I thought the tempo and I thought our connectivity on the defensive side and awareness was really good. And then Dorn, who shoots 90% of his shots from 3, had one point. Thank you.